everyone, welcome back to the Talking Podcast. My name is David Mwita, aka The People's Choice. We are super happy to be back again this week, and happy new month. This is March. It's known to be a Women Month, and we're happy to be back, of course, on your favorite and number one podcast platform in the city, the Talking Podcast. Thank you so much for the support that you've given us so far. So today we have a very great and interactive and, of course, educative and beneficial topic of discussion, especially if you are an entrepreneur out there and, of course, maybe an upcoming entrepreneur. The topic for today is for you, and we'll be talking about collaboration for impact in the entrepreneurship journey. So I'm not alone, of course, on the show. I have with me here a very special guest. She makes her first debut. Hi, Katharina. Welcome to the Talking Podcast.
Hi, David. Nice to be here. Thank you so
Great. Happy to have you.
Thank you, really.
Yeah, sure. So maybe briefly just tell us a bit about yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. My name is Katharina. So I'm the project lead of the StArfrica project. The StArfrica project is a collaborative project. We try to create a bridge between the German university in Koblenz-Landau, which is in the western part of Germany, and then the University of Rwanda here in Kigali, but also other campuses are involved. And the mission of the StArfrica project is to bring more German companies to Rwanda and more startups and SMEs to Germany. So we see it as kind of a bridge to increase the business relations with the actually very strong focus on scientific entrepreneurship.
Wow, interesting. So there you have it, guys. In case you are focused much into the scientific area or Department of Entrepreneurship, well, this is for you. And of course, do check out the StArfrica social media platform so that you are able to catch up with what they're doing. But we'll talk more about what they're currently offering and their mission here in Rwanda. So great. Super happy to have you once again, and today we're looking at a very amazing topic of discussion, and you are actually one of the people that at least has got vast experience in when it comes to this topic, which is collaboration. So we want to look at collaboration, especially in the journey of an entrepreneur, right? We'll also explore more about its importance and, of course, how do we create these collaborations. Mm-hmm. So, if we can start from there, what's your experience so far with collaboration, and why does it matter in one's entrepreneurship journey?
So I think looking at our project, collaboration is kind of the main topic here because, as I said, it's a collaborative project. We try to create a bridge between two countries. Maybe more countries in the future. That's what we call it, StArfrica. Mm-hmm. But we are starting in Rwanda as kind of the starting point. Mm-hmm. So the focus is, for my job here in Rwanda as the project lead, to find startups in an incubator program that have a business idea that would make sense for the German market. And we try to find these business ideas in different environments, and one focus is the incubator program I'm running. So actually we have our deadline next week on the 11th of March. We are inviting all higher institutions in Rwanda. We started with the first program last year that was only for University of Rwanda students and graduates. Now we open it up so people can apply through incubator.starfrica.de. I'm sure we can also share the link in this podcast. And so it's a 3-month program, and we have a mixture actually of entrepreneurial and job readiness skills. So it's kind of a journey where they start with critical thinking, business communications, but also how to write a good CV and cover letter.
Wow, interesting.
Then, because, I think a lot of people also, like a lot of our participants, they do this training, 3 months, and they realize maybe the entrepreneurial journey is not for me, which is totally fine. So that is why, and there's collaboration coming in, that is why we also have career talks almost every week. So the last incubator program ran last year from June till September. We had Jibu Water involved, we had Zipline. So they gave career talks for those ones who were like, maybe I want to start a business in some years, but right now I'm a university student, I need to find a job. So this is what we are looking at right now also in the next upcoming incubator program. So job readiness skills is one part, and then we go into design thinking, how to do a good pitch, how to find financing in Rwanda, but also outside Rwanda. How to write a business plan, those things. And we always try to work together with mentors or from Rwanda who are also founders, entrepreneurs, who actually can share their story as role models, which we found super helpful.
Great. So what are some of the specific kind of activities that you do in ensuring that there is collaboration, especially for among incubates, people who have signed up for your incubation program. What exactly do you do in ensuring that, these people, they are able to collaborate?
Yeah, so the last actually huge challenge with our first incubator round last year, it started right before the next lockdown came in Rwanda. So we decided not to do it physically, and we did it totally virtual. So we had a Zoom call, and that was for 3 months. So it was really hard actually to really feel connected, if you've never met in person. But we did it we did a lot of games. We did those breakout sessions. We made sure we used all those tools that are out there. I don't know, you can work collaboratively on a Google Doc in a team. We just showed them this is all out there. You can have all those free pitch tools online where you can actually work together in a team and help your team members to maybe improve their pitch. We tried to make sure as I said, to get in different companies and entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And now we changed it that we have a space at the University of Rwanda. It's the Remera campus. A lot of Rwandans know it as a former Kie. So it's the medical school. And with this room, we really hope to increase the collaboration, have career talks there in person, have people coming together. But we do it still hybrid. The reason is that you have so many institutions, like higher academic institutions in whole Rwanda. So that way we can also include the different UR campuses that are in Huye and Nyagatare to make sure they're all collaboratively working together.
Wow, amazing. It's a great work that you guys are doing. So I'm a bit curious now to find out what exactly happens. Could you mention a few specific projects or how is life like after the incubation program? Are there specific programs or projects that people with business ideas that tend to work on after you guys are done with their incubation phase?
Sure. Yeah, so it's kind
of... And maybe what's so remarkable about it?
A lot of things, I would say. But I think it's kind of twofold. On the one hand, I would call it not a normal incubator you would often find. So for us, it's we are looking at ideation stage. So you have a lot of incubators, accelerators in Kigali, which you need a prototype already, or you have to have a startup already, and then you want to grow and scale up.
Yeah.
For us, we are accepting last year students and recent graduates that have an idea, or maybe have no idea. So we want to help them come up with one. The goal after the 3 months is to ideally find some of the teams or their business ideas that would make sense for the German market. What does it mean is we are funded by the Ministry of Economic Affairs in Germany, and their focus is to help or to support business ideas coming from Rwanda starting their business in Germany. So ideally, the business ideas we find are kind of universal. So now we have one with a very strong focus on health. It's around corona pool testing. That team could also go into other countries. They chose Germany, and now we help them with that application to start that business in Germany around that.
Great. So now you just mentioned something which is about the COVID-19. So what role would you say collaboration plays when it comes to the incubation programs and knowing the fact that maybe amidst the pandemic?
A very great example for a big collaboration between Germany and Rwanda is the BioNTech. They are starting, so it's the big company that makes the vaccine. They just announced that they're going to build a factory here, and it's a collaborative project between the Rwandan government and this German company. And I think this is just amazing. They saw this as the hub of pharmaceuticals on the African continent. They are now looking for skilled labor. They are going to build this factory here. They are going to train Rwandans in that field. They are already having a very skilled workforce here. And I think this is a very perfect example for collaboration. On a health topic. Yeah.
Nice. Now, okay, so you've interacted with quite a number of incubees. Entrepreneurs that have signed up for different kind of incubation programs, or especially since you guys started last year, right? You launched your first incubation program last year. This is gonna be your second, right?
Exactly.
So I would like to find out from you, how is the environment among the young entrepreneurs, especially here in Rwanda? Do really people, or do these really young entrepreneurs kind of really treasure collaboration?
Yes, I would say so, and that's what we also try to kind of nurture in our incubator. At the same time, I think you can see definitely they are still competitors, you know. I'd love to see sometimes.
Come on, are you sure?
I think so. I mean,
so you mean like they see themselves to be like competitors
it
with
depends
each?
on the idea, I would say, on the sector they're working on. For example, in our incubator, we had quite a lot of agriculture projects. And then, it's we would have wished to see some more collaboration. But
so how does one go about that? Let's say, okay, so maybe we want to change this, right? You want to change this, as in when you go into maybe an incubation program, you shouldn't see other entrepreneurs as competitors. Instead, you should see them as maybe potential partners, right? So how should people go about creating these collaborations?
I think, I mean, if you see, so for example, we are looking at business ideas, as I said, they're not coming out of like, ready for the market startups, but they have a prototype. Ideally, they start collaborating together throughout the incubator. So we've also seen that they saw, this person is really good in marketing, this person is great in doing research, and then they started actually also collaborative projects. Instead of saying, look, I'm going to focus on my own idea and just following that, and they realized, why don't we work together in a team and start our own business idea and open it up for the others and work together on it. So I can only support that.
Amazing. This is the Talking Podcast. In case you just joined us, do not really forget to follow us on our social media platforms, which is on Instagram, The Talking Podcast. Also follow us on subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is The Talking Podcast. You can also listen to the audio version of this in case you're watching it. Yes, we are available on Apple Podcasts as well as Google Podcasts and Spotify. Check the audio version of it and listen to it. So you are working with maybe a startup which is maybe from Germany, right? And you're trying to really help young entrepreneurs here in Africa. What's your feeling when it comes to German companies and coming to Rwanda? And maybe obviously, what is the future like of this collaboration between maybe German and Rwanda?
So I would say, I mean, I've been living now in Rwanda 1.5 years, but I lived here before, and I've seen a lot of German companies talking to us as the StArfrica team, but I can only say there need to be more on the ground. And I think what is really an issue is still, not only in Germany, but I would say a lot of companies in Europe still have, still have this very old mindset when it comes to the African continent. And I'm really tired about it, and this is why I really like the job I'm doing, is that we try to create a different image of not only Rwanda, but the other countries also in East Africa, to say like, look, it's not, there's so much more going on apart from NGOs, and that Western countries have to help the African continent. I mean, there can just be business relations that creating jobs is makes development more sustainable. But it still needs to be, there still needs to be more outside. We would love to see more, especially German companies coming here, but they're often hesitant. And I feel like it's still taking maybe 3, 4, 5 more years. And it takes those positive role models like BioNTech, Volkswagen. They are here, they just did it, you know? And they also often use Rwanda kind of as a test market for the African continent. If it works here, they might go to Kenya and other countries. And I think this is amazing that they're just doing it. They come here.
Great. So the fact that most German investors are coming and maybe to help a lot of startups here in Rwanda, and I think this is important. Maybe you can share with us or with the upcoming entrepreneurs out there in terms of positioning themselves for these opportunities that they're coming to this land. What's your advice on that? How should young entrepreneurs position themselves for these opportunities?
That's a good question. I think networking is key.
Networking.
Yes.
Networking, collaboration. Yeah.
And this is what you did. You did a fantastic job in this regard.
I appreciate.
Put yourself out there. I mean, that's not only for entrepreneurs, but I think that's also for people in general who are looking for a job, or maybe they want to change their current job. This is how I also did it always in the past. I would barely go through, I saw a job ad and then I would apply. I often just approached people. The first time I came to Rwanda, I had found that job because I saw this company. It was a consultancy, very small, They had only a branch in Rwanda and Germany, and I wrote to the CEO. I said, look, I love what you're doing. Can we talk? And out of that, I started working with him. So I think what is important, never give up. Talk to people. You never know what comes out there. Networking is really key. Sometimes it takes so many tries and attempts, and sometimes you're very, nervous. You walk up to that CEO, but in the end it might work out. So and then collaboration again.
Okay, so I'm meant to understand that these incubation programs, they are really quite a bit stressful. Maybe especially among young entrepreneurs. You know, you just have an idea and you want it at least to be given life. You get it, right? And you get into this incubation program, and maybe you just kind of find out that maybe you are not made to be an entrepreneur, right? I used to have a friend of mine who actually was found in such kind of a situation. Like, they had this brilliant idea, but once they were put into a certain program, like let's say for 6 months or 3 months, an incubation, and then they just kind of want to give up. They're like, I don't think I was meant to be an entrepreneur, or I can go ahead with this program. So what would you say, or what would you advise? And by the way, maybe, is it okay to discover that I'm not an entrepreneur for this thing, and to give up? Is it really okay? And maybe what's your advice in case maybe you're familiar with any kind of such cases?
I think it's totally okay, because...
Wow.
No, because
I didn't see that coming.
I think it's very good to know in life what you actually don't want. You know, so many people don't know what they want and what they don't want, but suddenly you find out after you've done it for 6 months, it's not like that you wasted time. You know, like you will always be 40 in 10 years or something. You will always be older, and then you look back and you're like, but those 6 months or that 3-month program, I still met great people. I built a network, and now I know I do not want to be an entrepreneur, but at least I've tried it, you know. And this is actually what we are also sometimes facing in the incubator, and kind of to try to avoid that. That's why we get companies, the private sector, in for career talks and having them speak to the incubators. And what we've seen is actually during the incubator, and also now since it's over, so we make sure we are still in touch with all our participants, and companies are still approaching us and getting in touch with us saying, look, I have this internship here, can you send me or like share it with your incubatees and tell them about this opportunity, because we've trained them for 3 months. We feel really comfortable of like connecting them with those opportunities. And for companies it's great because they know they've gone through that 3-month training.
Nice. So I believe StArfrica is really on a very tremendous mission, especially here in Africa, here in Rwanda. So are you like also thinking of expanding in other African countries apart from being here in Rwanda?
So that's in our mind. We have been thinking about other countries. We're looking at Tanzania, we're looking at Senegal, but nothing for sure yet. So let's see. We're still exploring. Our project is still running another 2 years in Rwanda at least. And what we really like, and that's also unique about our project, is that we have this scientific entrepreneurship there. So we are always collaborating with universities.
Wow, nice.
So that's why we are based at the University of Rwanda, which is our main project partner here. And that would also be the goal and our mission if we go to other African countries, to always work with at least one scientific or like higher learning institution there.
Amazing. So like how can really people out there, you know, be able to get in touch with you, and how do they, can you maybe talk a bit about just the application process for them to be linked into the program, like, okay, finally maybe till when they get admitted to your incubation program?
Okay, sure. So as I said, there is the link, incubator.starfrica.de, where you have a very, very simple application form. We just want to know why you're interested in joining the incubator, maybe explain your business idea very briefly. But what we are really actually, and I think this is also a bit special for our incubator, the tool is very simple. The application form is very simple to so to make it easy for everyone to access. But we are really looking at accuracy and how well this is written. So we give them time to actually be using just a simple Google form that they can go back into it and maybe still work on it. We give them feedback, each of the applicants. If they go through that step, they do it, they correct maybe if they've done some mistakes, because you know how it is, the deadline is coming, you type it in very fast, and maybe it's full of errors or you forgot something. So we give everyone the chance to look into this again. If you make that first step, which is, I think, very simple, you are admitted to the pre-incubator. We are putting a pre-incubator in front of our normal incubator program to give all the participants 1 week to work on their own pace, watching pre-recorded videos and assignments by us, going through all this. And if they don't reach the minimum points in those assignments, at least we think they have learned something. It's also like how to work collaboratively, how to work in a team, especially if you are now becoming business partners and you were friends before, but also how to use all the Google tools that are out there. So if you pass that pre-incubator round, you're accepted to the incubator, which is a 3-month program. But here we are also very transparent with the rules. You can still get kicked out during the incubator if you don't.
Really?
Yes, if you miss sessions, if you don't, excuse your absence, if you don't reach 50% of the required points for the assignment. So we are very strict here.
Yeah.
So that with each week, and sometimes you realize it doesn't fit with your schedule. You might miss 2, 3, 4 sessions, and while others were not accepted to the whole program. So we want to be very, quite strict here, but we also saw it was really successful for the last round, where we had started with 78 in the first week, and in the last week we had 21 participants who were all very motivated, had their pitches done.
Amazing, great. So I saw something like you also help maybe these people with young entrepreneurs, with great business ideas to even maybe get scholarships. How do you do that, and which platforms exactly could they find those scholarships?
Okay, so what is special for us, it's not really a scholarship, it's more like a business grant. So as I said, our our donor is the Ministry of Economic Affairs from Germany. And we try to find business ideas for the German market, so that this team of 3 goes to Germany and works on their business plan and ideally registering their business in Germany, and they have 1 year for that. And we try to do kind of scouting for that during our incubator program. At the same time, we also hook them up with other opportunities that are there, because we sometimes have the feeling if you don't live in Kigali, you don't know what's there. There are so many accelerators, 250 startups, Westerwelle House. There's so many. Now there's Norskin as a new player. And actually, we have one of our teams from the past incubator now joining the Westerwelle House entrepreneurship program. So idea would also be have some kind of a pipeline. We are at the very beginning. Help you come up with a prototype, and then ideally you maybe go into another incubator program that is looking at some more developed ideas. But we are always there if they have other ideas in mind, if they're looking for funding. We try to connect them with the right people. But what is important, we cannot provide a scholarship after the incubator. Ideally, they make sense for that business grant to go to Germany, but we can't provide scholarships for the Rwandan market, for example.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Katharina, for that great insights for talk. We appreciate you for coming through here on the Talking Podcast. It's been amazing for giving more insights, especially on your mission here in Rwanda. But before I let you go, I've discovered also that you've been you have about 10 years of experience working and living in East Africa. Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So I came here the first time when I was 19. So it's even more now. I'm not 29 anymore.
Okay.
So I came to Uganda as a volunteer with a very interesting mindset. You go as a volunteer from Germany to a country in the global south. And it's an amazing experience, but also you come with a mindset of what I've said before, that the African continent, a lot of people in Europe have, which is just completely wrong. And I lived in a host family for 6 months, and I would always come back every year to live with them, and I started doing internships, and then it was in Uganda, but Rwanda was
interesting. I hope you've been really making the best out of your experience so far that you're being in Africa. Great. So now before we let you go, maybe what's your advice for maybe other European companies or organizations or even investors when it comes to funding African startups? Do you have any message for them out there?
So So I would say, like, in general, the interest just has to rise, and those stereotypes they have should just not be there. Being cautious is good, but that should be the thing for every startup you want to support, be it in the US or in, I don't know, France, the UK. Those stereotypes, I'm really tired of them. And also, when it comes to mentorship, you find quite a lot of programs where, I don't know, German or French entrepreneurs try to tell African entrepreneurs how to do their business. And I sometimes see that as a huge challenge. So for me, I'm the project lead here, but I'm not doing the mentoring itself. So that is why we're always getting Rwandan mentors in there.
Yeah.
Our focus is kind of on the German market, as I said, for the business idea. So we have 1 or 2 sessions how to do business in Germany, but it's more like, so these are the sectors in Germany that you could look at for your business ideas. But what I think is Rwandan or African entrepreneurs should be more in the focus and actually work as mentors because they know better what's going on the continent.
Great. Thank you so much, Katharina, for coming through here on the Talking Podcast. It was really a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. This has been the Talking Podcast. I was talking to Katharina, who is currently the project lead of StArfrica. An organization that's here to help people with great ideas, great business ideas, who go through their programs, kind of like an incubation program. So you better check them out. And of course, they have given details to where you can find different kind of links, and also we'll be able to like paste all the links to their social media platforms or in the description of this podcast or episode. My name is David Mubita, aka the People's Choice. This has been yours truly. We'll be back again next week. Stay tuned and stay connected.